jumped in surprise and reflexively threw the doll against the wall. I froze. Wait, did I pick up that doll last night? No, right? I'm 100% sure, because I felt strange. I took the doll out of the house when I went to work. I carelessly threw it into the trash. I was even questioned by the garbage officer when I threw the doll away with my kitchen waste. Long story short, day 2. Again, I woke up with the doll in my arms. This is when I started to get paranoid, because the doll really smells like garbage. And that proves that I threw it away yesterday. I even saw with my own eyes when the garbage truck carried it along with other garbage. I'm not stupid, and I'm not a skeptic who always thinks positively to realize this. One conclusion that came to mind was, this must be a haunted doll. That's why the second day I decided to prove my theory. The genius move I took was that in the morning, I took the doll to the post office and packaged it overseas. Then, after work, I stopped by the digital shop to buy a GoPro, which I installed in the corner of my room. Well, if you're a devil's puppet, let's see if you can come back from your trip abroad. After everything was ready, I decided to sleep. In the morning, I wake up. And again, the doll was in my arms. "Are you serious?" I muttered. A little amazed, but a little scared too. However, because I had recorded the doll's arrival with the GoPro, I immediately wanted to check the footage. Well, at least this devil doll was caught in action, I thought. Unfortunately, the footage displayed on my camera was completely unlike what I imagined. The display looks static between the time I go to bed until 12 o'clock at night. After that, things started to change. I was focused on the bedroom door and was shocked because it was my cupboard door that was open. I frowned. Just when I thought that the demon doll might be able to cross dimensions, I was shocked again because what came out was a woman with long hair. Huh? I was shocked. Ah! I jumped in surprise and reflexively threw the doll against the wall. I froze. Wait, did I pick up that doll last night? No, right? I'm 1,000,000% sure. It didn't stop there. The woman started to take off her white clothes and climbed onto my bed. The next second, it was something that made me want to vomit. The reason is that the woman started taking off my trousers and having intimate relations with me while I was sleeping. I immediately paused the recording and went to the bathroom and vomited. This was the minute that made me convinced that the woman was not human. The reason is that after carrying out the action, she returned to positioning me as before. Then, she sat on the floor and stretched. I was a witness from 1 to 4 in the morning. The woman's stomach began to grow and peaked at 5 o'clock. A baby came out of her body. She gave birth. Then, with the remaining strength she had, she walked towards my study table. My study table was under the GoPro, so I couldn't see what she was doing. My heart dropped when I saw her turn to the GoPro camera. The woman's face was ugly, and her skin texture was like a worn rubber doll. One of her eyes was missing, and there were cuts everywhere. She shows a baby doll to the camera. On the doll's forehead, she wrote the word Jack with my marker. This story is based on my experience when my neighbor's house was being renovated when I was in 2nd grade of high school. Actually, it couldn't be called a neighbor because the house was empty. My neighborhood is in a narrow alley that can fit 1 car, and my neighborhood looks like a housing complex. The houses around me are all empty. Signs of life, there are only at my house and one of my neighbors who is rarely home. So the situation is like a haunted house neighborhood. In short, one of the empty houses that is only one house away from my house is going to be renovated to look better. Well, the empty house that will be renovated has not been occupied for about 12 years. What's for sure is that when I was in kindergarten, the house was already empty. I used to live with my grandmother, who was only one street away, so it was close. Next to the empty house is an empty field that is filled with tall weeds. The field is famous for its hauntedness. The horror incident that I experienced was when I was left alone at night. My mother and sister went to my grandparents' house. I didn't go because I was sick. So, when I was taking a book from the bookshelf near the living room, I suddenly heard the sound of a door opening. And it turned out that it was the garage door, which is located near the bookshelf, to the left of the bookshelf. Even though I thought I had closed it because, well, if it wasn't closed, mosquitoes could swarm the house like people protesting. Because I'm the kind of person who doesn't care, I ignored the incident and went back to my room. In my room, I continued to do my school assignment that would be presented the day after tomorrow, so I was quiet in my room. In the middle of the silence, the garage door suddenly closed again. I knew because the garage door made a sound. Why I knew it was closed? Because the garage door and my room were facing each other. So if my bedroom door was open, I could automatically see the garage door directly. Here is the position of my bedroom door open. Duh, don't bother me, I said, because I was already sick and had to finish my school assignment. So I was also carried away by my emotions when I was being bullied like that. Suddenly, there was a woman's laughter. Automatically, I was silent and frozen for a moment, and was still wondering if it was really a woman's voice. And after realizing that it was really a woman's voice, I immediately called my friend to come home. The story doesn't end there. Since the renovation of the house started, there have been all sorts of strange things happening, such as the sound of people playing with dishes in the kitchen faucet turning on by itself, and the sound of people crying at the door. All the disturbances were still considered normal, but one night, the disturbances became more and more intense. At that time, I woke up around 1 a.m. I woke up with my eyes still half closed. I felt my right leg hurt, and when I looked, my eyes were still half closed because I was half conscious. My right leg was already in a position like straight up, very straight, and the soles of my feet were facing to the right, and that position was really right straight. I didn't see the figure. I just saw my leg being bent like that. And as best I could, I read a prayer because my mouth was really difficult to speak. Finally, the creature that bent my leg went away. When I woke up, my leg hurt so much that I couldn't walk. And in the morning, I told my mother. It turned out that my mother also had sleep paralysis. And when my mother asked her friend who could see, she said that the occupants of the empty house felt disturbed. And finally, they came to my house to tell me that they were disturbed by the renovation of the house and the behavior of the construction workers. The renovation of the house was eventually stopped because the residents of the empty house were too disturbed. The workers were also scared because they often saw strange things happening at the house. I never saw the residents of the empty house but I believe that they are real. I am still afraid to go near that house, even though it is now inhabited by a new family. Hello. This is the first time I want to share my personal experience. Maybe it's not scary, but it's enough to surprise me. The incident happened when I was still in 3rd grade of high school. My house has 2 floors. My room and my sister's room are on the 2nd floor. That night, I was studying in my room while the people in the house were gathered downstairs, so I was the only one on the 2nd floor. Suddenly, I heard the sound of a plastic bag being dragged slowly in the hallway in front of my room. What surprised me was that there was no wind coming in, so flying the plastic bag was something that was a bit impossible. However, when I heard the sound, I tried to think positively and stay focused on my textbook, and the sound disappeared. Because I was curious, I decided to check out of the room. I brought my books and writing utensils. I checked around the hallway, but I didn't see any plastic bags anywhere. I decided to go downstairs and tell my mom. Mom just said that every house has a guardian. However, if we don't disturb them, they will not disturb us either. I still don't know what the sound was that night. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I still remember it clearly until now.